Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. So today we're going to make a different recipe than we're used to. We're going to go to a Austrian style of cooking today. We're going to make goulash. Now this is the way I make goulash. This probably isn't traditional, but this is the way that my grandmother taught me. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So all you're going to need is stew meat, an onion, some spices. You're going to need paprika. You're also going to need some vinegar. You're also going to need a spice called marjoram and bay leaves. So I'm going to show you what you do to cook this. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to grab your onions here. I've got a full red onion diced up. You're going to want to take that, put it into a pot on the stove with a little bit of oil, and start sweating down your onions. Once the onions have been sweated down, then you're going to go ahead and add paprika. Usually I just add about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit less, depending on how much paprika you like. There's really not a exact amount. It's kind of go by how you like the flavor. Once your onions have been sweated down so they're starting to turn a little bit translucent, then you go ahead and add in your stew meat. Now we're only going to partially cook it here because we are going to end up putting it here in the slow cooker, and it's going to spend about 4 hours here in the slow cooker. So once your onions and your beef have been cooked down and your beef is partially cooked, then you're going to go ahead and add your spices. Now I'm going to add just regular salt, pepper, and I'm going to add a little bit of minced garlic. I haven't brought that out here yet. And then actually this is going to be weird, but you're going to want to find something called marjoram. Now I don't understand what it is. I know it's a leafy herb, but it adds some sort of a flavor that you just can't go without. Once you have all your spices and everything where you like it, then you want to go ahead and add vinegar. So now vinegar is going to sound weird, but bear with me. I add about half a cup of vinegar to a half cup of water, and that's going to make your stew. So I'm going to go ahead and put all this together. I'm going to go ahead and start frying it, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when I add all the ingredients step by step. Once you have all your ingredients put together into the pot there on the stove, you're going to want to bring it up to a simmer and let it simmer for about 10-15 minutes or however long you really want to, because next you're going to go ahead and put it here into your slow cooker. Now, depending on how long you have until dinner time, you can set this for 4 hours on high or 6 hours on low. The lower, the slower, the better, means the more tender the meat's going to be. And because you've already partially cooked everything there on the stove, it doesn't technically need all that long. So we're going to go ahead and now transfer this into the slow cooker, and there's a couple more steps that we got to do. Now that you've gone ahead and put your stew here in the crock pot and set it, I've set mine for 8 hours on low. It's not going to take that long, but I want it on the lower setting, so that's 8 hours on this crock pot. The one thing that I do want to mention with this recipe is it seems like the spicing that I've used is quite a few spices and quite a lot of the spices. But the one thing that we're going to do once this is done cooking here in the slow cooker is we're going to add a sour cream, flour, and water mixture to thicken it up. When you add that sour cream, water, flour mixture, it takes away quite a bit of the flavor. So I always say when making this recipe to overdo it on the spices originally, because that is going to be toned down once you use the sour cream, water, and flour mixture. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook for about probably 4.5 hours, maybe 5. And then we'll come back and I'll show you the sour cream, flour, and water slurry that we're going to add to this. And then we're also going to go ahead and make dumplings to go along with this. So we'll come back and we'll continue cooking this here in a couple hours. So it's been a couple of hours. Slow cooker has done its job. It's been about 4.5 hours. I've had this sucker going and everything is now cooked. The beef is super tender. The flavors are exactly where I want them. So now we're going to go ahead and make a slurry. Now the slurry is going to thicken this because it is quite runny right now. So we're going to make a slurry out of, and this is going to sound weird, sour cream, flour, and water. There isn't really any measurements to this, depending on how thick you want to make it. So I'm going to start with probably a tablespoon of sour cream, maybe 2 tablespoons of flour, and a little bit of water. You just want a really, really small amount of slurry because you don't, like I said it originally, you don't want to take out all the flavors that you've been trying to get, and that's what this slurry will do, but you do have to thicken it a little bit. So I'll show you guys exactly all the ingredients and how it's going to look after you've added the slurry. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make dumplings. Now these are a very simple dumpling, 3 ingredients: flour, eggs, water. Again, there isn't really any measurements to this. I'm sure you can find a dumpling recipe online, but the way I do it is a little different. I'm going to make quite a few dumplings, so I've already got a pot of water here, salted water, to boil them. And to make the dumplings themselves, you're going to start by adding 2 cups of flour. You're going to want a little bit of salt in your flour, so I add a little bit of salt in there. Then I'm actually going to add 3 eggs in because I like them a little chewier. You add the eggs into the 2 cups of salted flour, and then you go ahead and add a little bit of water. You're kind of looking for a stringy pancake mix. I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a second. Now that you got your dumpling mixture all done and you're happy with the consistency, like I said, this kind of looks like pancake batter. As you can see, it pulls apart, not too bad. These are called drop dumplings, so you're basically going to drop them into hot water just like that. As you can see, I got a pot boiling behind me. You're going to want to do a test dumpling, kind of a sacrificial one, just to see if you have enough egg, flour, water in here. If they hold together, then you're good. If they fall apart, you might have to add more flour. If they're too dry, you might have to add a little bit more water to it. So it's kind of hit and miss. It depends on how you like your dumplings. Like I said, I kind of prefer my dumplings a little bit chewier and more dense. So I added more egg to this. So I actually added 3 eggs to this. Normally I would have only added 2. And I probably added, I'm going to say in the range of about 1 cup to 1.5 cups of cold water. And yeah, this is the texture that you get. Like I said, it's kind of, I don't know what you'd call this. It's a little thicker than pancake batter. It holds together better than pancake batter. And so yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a test dumpling. And from that point on, I will be able to do the rest of them. There you go, guys. Everything's cooked. You got your dumplings strained. I just put them into a bowl here so that way the water can flow through. And then you got your goulash, which is also done and cooked. So let's dish up and see how it tastes. I'm going to take a couple of these dumplings here. That looks nice. 3 of these dumplings. Let's take 4. Take 4 dumplings. And let's take some of this beautiful goulash. Dump that right on top there. Oh, the meat's just absolutely falling apart. This is perfect. There we go. And that's what you get. But the real question is, how does it taste? So let's try it. A little bit of dumpling here. A little bit of the beef. Oh, that's so good. The beef is just falling apart. The vinegar gives it a little bit of a bite to it. If you like it a little stronger, you can add more vinegar. Don't add too much because it will overpower it. Yeah, no, that's perfect. The sour cream has toned it down a little bit, but not too much. Like I said, I overspiced, so now it's perfect. But yeah, that is how you make goulash the way I was taught. Now, this is probably not traditional way. I can already hear in the comments people saying, well, that's not the traditional way of doing it. I've never been taught the real traditional way. This is how my grandmother taught me. She knows how to do it properly, but I've also put a little bit of a spin on it. So if this isn't, or if there is another way to do this, please comment on it. I'd love to see what I've done wrong and maybe try to do it differently the next time. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Remember to like, follow, subscribe. And if you have any other questions or any other suggestions on different cooking recipes to do, drop me a line. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.